Hello, my name's Dave Hutchinson and I'm an assessor with Geeson Training, a speedy business. This is a recording of a mind map which I'm using for confirming the occupational method of work. And we're going to cover understanding documents or documentation in the construction industry. So this is going to be an explanation of my mind map which will help you understand the documents. Right, let's get into it then. Right, understanding project information. Right, as you now a supervisor, one of the things you're going to have to do is a lot of documents or a lot of report writing and gathering information. Now, the purpose or the function of documentation is obviously to gather information, gather data. For instance, how many meters of trench have you dug today? How much cladding have you completed? How many bricks or meters of bricks have you laid? What's your progress? Right? So we need to report the progress, right? And it needs to be done in a chronological order. So, so that word we're going to use as the word of the day. Chronological, as the name suggests, is the science of arranging events in their order of occurrence in time. There is a saying, if it's not recorded, then it doesn't happen. Okay, so you'll spend some of your time updating schedules, uh, recording new drawings that you receive, minutes of meetings. You may be asked to uh, take the notes of them. And what you need to do is chronologically process them so they're all in order. Now, we're going to be capturing this information in a number of ways. Now, it can either be on paper with using your construction forms generated by a company, or it could be electronically, right, on iPads or whatever. But one thing that your reports must be, they must be clear. They must be clear. You must use an appropriate language, right? Other people are going to be reading these reports, right? They must be complete. It's no good leaving empty boxes, right? It must be legible and it must be accurate. A little saying here, I can do something my teacher can't do, read my writing. Okay, so make sure your stuff is legible and for other people to read and it makes good sense. In order to do that, we may need to improve our reporting skills. And if you're lucky enough to use digital tools like Word, right, then you can get Word to actually spell check your document for you, right? It will also check your grammar and your punctuation. But remember, when it comes back to spelling, right, if you actually, for instance, there are 3 different ways to spell the word to: T-O, T-O-O, T-W-O. So it's a good idea to proofread your document so that what you're reporting is actually what you want to say. And if it's an important document, then another way is to get others to read it, to look at it, because it is hard to pick up your own faults when you're drafting your document. Okay, but others can quite easily, or maybe, be able to pick up something that you've missed. So it's a good idea to get others to look at your work before you submit it. Okay, now let's have a look at the documents that we have or come across during construction. Right, the first one is obviously the contract document. The contract document is great. You've won the tendering process, and this contract document will be the main document in place, right, which will contain all the other information. So all the information will be found in the contract document, because this details what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and by when. Okay, detailed in that will be drawings. Now, there are a plethora of drawings. Okay, your architect's drawings, heating engineers, gas engineers, drainage, right? If you need to know anything more about drawings, you can click on this link and it will take you to a website detail more information about drawings. Now, another document we will often come across is risk assessment, and obviously I'm sure you all know what a risk assessment is, but a risk assessment is basically an examination of the work you're about to do, so examination of the area, checking what could cause harm, and you weigh up whether you've got enough precautions or whether you need to put more control to reduce the risk, or if not, remove the risk. Okay, so you can follow this link, that will give you a better explanation of detailed risks. Before I cover schedules, I want to talk about method statements. Right. Method statements should be the first thing written before the actual schedule. And the reason why is the method statement will detail resources required, and I've written it as 4M: manpower, machinery, materials, and subcontractors. It will also detail the sequence of work and key operations that need to happen to conduct the method statement. So I've got an example of a method statement. Okay, so a method statement precedes preparation of the program schedule of work and contains the necessary detail for the construction of the building. It is prepared from information contained in the contract document. It also functions as a brief for site operatives in sequencing activities, indicating resources required and determining the duration of each element of construction. Right? It complements construction programming by providing a detailed analysis of each activity. So as an example, we're going to, this method statement is a very simple one. Strip the site for excavation. We've got 300 meters square to strip. It gives us the tools we need. It tells us our output per hour, 15 meters square per hour. What labor we need, the plant, and also it works out the number of days required. Now, if it hasn't got the number of days required, then we can just turn to our maths, and I've used Vedic maths here. So we've got 300 meters square of area to cover, and we estimate we can cover 50 meters square an hour. So what I did was zipped off the zero, so basically it's 30 divided by 5. I'll show you how this works in Vedic maths. It's a very quick shortcut without using a calculator. Now, obviously, we all know there are 6 5s in 30, but I've used a very simple one. If it's a bigger number or odd number, then you can still use this system. Right? So we're dividing by 5. So the base number is 10 because that's the number it's close to. So difference between 5 and 10 is 5. So then what you do is you bring down the 3. You've got 3 times 5 is 15. Add these two columns together to give 15. 5 into 15 goes 3 times. 3 plus 3 equals 6. So that is 6 hours to complete 300 meters square with the resources you've been given. Okay, now using that, you can then refer back to your schedule, right, and then plot that task on your schedule. Your schedule, and there are different types of schedule, but the main schedule that the schedule that's most frequently used is the bar chart schedule, which details the tasks down one column and the duration on the right hand side. So you would put strip your site and you would put 6 hours for that. Okay. The other schedules that you can come across is line of balance, critical path method, and precedence network. I'm not going to go into these now. I don't think we need to at the moment. It's probably for another lesson, but just be aware that there are different schedules. Right, specifications. Specifications provide the information on what materials and the workmanship that's required. So follow this link. It will take you to specifications for UK. There we go. It's part of the contract document. As we said earlier, all of these documents are part of the contract document. And they're prepared by professionals such as architects. They can be created from previous specifications. So if you've built a house of type before, then you can obviously build the same house again using the same specification, right? That's enough about that. Bill of quantities. A bill of quantities is prepared by a quantity surveyor, and there is a document per quantity surveyor, and they measure the amount of materials you're going either in length, area, volume, weight, and they're used for the tendering process so that you can actually submit your bid to win the contract. So this is the price basically of what you're going to build the house, if it's a house you're building, right? So if you've usually won the contract, you've usually put in the lowest tender, but it does have drawbacks by putting in the lowest tender, because obviously you've got to build it to your budget and your schedule of work. Other documents you'll come across will be Construction Health and Safety, which is the Health and Safety at Work Act 1974, enforced by the HSE and sometimes enforced by the Environmental Health Department, for instance, if there's a contamination on site. We've also got the Construction Design and Management Regulations. They are a main set of regulations which govern health, safety and welfare on site, right, to keep you healthy and safe. This is why you have site inductions, because it's written in the construction and design management regulations. Okay, you may be wondering why do I need to have an overview of all of these documents listed in the contract document? Okay, so if I just open, right. In order to make your life easier, you need to make decisions. To make decisions, we need to be able to have all of these documents at hand, either electronically or in paper, be able to retrieve them. Right. This is how we make efficient decisions and use resources efficiently, by consulting the schedule, right? Looking at reports where we should be at, having a weekly walk around and checking to make sure we're making the right decision. So if we understand all these documents, then our decision becomes easy. Okay, and the way we do that is we check the schedule of work. If we get a query, we check the schedule of work. We have weekly walkarounds to make sure things are on task, because we're constantly referring to this, right? We have a program with a drop line. Basically, that's a schedule with the line showing where you're at. Okay. We have a 2-week look ahead, right, to foresee and stall any problems. And we have a register of drawings and specifications which we use, right, to look at and make sure everything's being built as it should be built. But this, I haven't got enough time to cover all of these today. That's got obviously another lesson.